Hi everybody. So today is the day that I'm going to organize the back of the van. For the past few months we're doing all the build, all the stuff that I've been doing to the van. I have no other space for it, so I just put stuff like this, tools, and other things. I just put them over here. Space is at a premium. I have my bike here and I've been really itching to start riding again. Natural pose. Okay. I still have, my waist is slim, but I'm getting this little belly here. And I'm going to try to cut that down. And I like to run too, but my knee has been hurting me. Well, it hasn't been hurting me lately, but when I run, the last time I was running, it started hurting me, so I stopped running and I stopped biking. But I got my nice bike here, and I really, really want to ride my bike. I probably mentioned this before, but in 2013 was the peak of my cycling and running. And that year, I biked 3,500 miles. That's right, 3,500 miles exactly. I finished December 31st before midnight in 2013. And I finished on my indoor trainer with this bike attached to it. And that still counts. It's still miles. They're accurate. And that same year, I ran about 750 miles. All right, that's a lot of mileage. The year before, 2012, I only ran 150, and that year was the year that I started running again. I would run once in a while, like over here at the house. Once in a while, I would run 2 miles, and I was just completely out of breath. I could go for 50, 60, 70 miles, 100 miles, but running, I would run a couple miles and I would be out of breath. So I started running mostly because of this. Not this, but doing duathlons. Actually, it was because of this one here in particular. I was driving through here one day, this place, and I stopped at a bike shop, and I saw them advertising this race. So I figured, I got a little bit of time, I can train. So I started training, running, and it wasn't pretty. My mind, because I hadn't run in like 20-some years. Really run, and my mind was back when I was 17, 18, and I could run the 6K, 10 miles, no, the 10K, 6 miles, in about 35 minutes. And I did that, I accomplished that with just a few months of training. And then one day I was racing and I started feeling a pain, and I stopped, and for some reason I never started again. So 20-some years later, I decided that I wanted to start doing a triathlon. A duathlon, not a triathlon. And I started training, and the first few months it was so painful. I started doing like a mile. I have this app that I don't follow it anymore, but in the beginning I did. uh, so you could go to 5K within a certain amount of weeks. And my mind was back when I was younger, so I was trying to go fast, but my body was just, it was just on another planet, and I was just shuffling my feet. Everything hurt, my feet, my legs, my knee, my back, my arms, my neck, everything hurt. But that year I was able to do 150 miles. Now my problem, I think my problem with my knee was that the following year I did 750 miles. And that's a big difference. I probably should have just done maybe 300 miles the most that year, just so you gradually increase your mileage. But no, every time I felt good, I was running, I was feeling good, and I just want to go further and faster. Further and faster. Well, towards the end of 2013, there's this mountain in northern New Jersey called High Point Mountain. It's the highest mountain, the highest point in New Jersey, at 1,850 feet, give or take. So in 2013, I climbed that mountain about 12 times. And that's 5.5 miles up, 5.5 miles down. About 5.5%, 5 something of incline. Although some sections there are 7 and 8, 9, some even close to 20% incline. I think that's what really hurt my knee, not necessarily the going up part, but the coming downhill, putting a lot of pressure on my knee, and that's what finally, I think, put me out of business. I started getting pain here, and sometimes it was just painful to walk. So anyway, I climbed that mountain on my bike 37 times that year. Many times I would go out for 70, 80, 100 mile ride, and I would still go up that mountain. One day I climbed that mountain 4 times on a bike. A few times I climbed that mountain going up on a bike, coming down, then running up the mountain, coming down, and then going up the bike and coming down. And for those of you that don't know about triathlon or duathlon training, when you do a training section where you do like a running and biking, or vice versa, or swimming and biking, or swimming and running, or any combination, it's called a brick. So I guess instead of doing a brick, I was doing more like a block. But anyway, I want to get back into biking and then maybe try running again, because I love running. I could go out for 15 miles, a couple hours, and you know, every time I would go and everything felt good. It felt so nice, you know, afterwards taking a shower and just, you know, I would be sore, but it's a nice feeling. So I want to do that again. So here's what brought me into cycling to begin with. I wasn't doing anything, and then my dad all of a sudden bought a bike and came over to the house with his new bike and his uniform and all that. So I decided, you know, let me try it, let me go for a ride. I had my old mountain bikes from '94 and this yellow jersey from '94, so I figured, why not? And I went out and I almost passed out. But then I started getting into it, and then I bought this new bike, and I got better and better, and I started climbing up to High Point. You can see the monument there behind me. And Yeah, I had some knee problems once in a while, but I got better and better, and I kept climbing and I kept riding my bike. Even when it was cold, in around 30 some degrees, I would still go up there and climb and ride my bike. And then I started getting into competitions, running, and more training, more going up to High Point. And this race here, you can see I finished ahead of the guy. For some reason they put me behind them. I don't know why. But this is a duathlon that I did in Connecticut. First 3-mile run. Then I got on a bike for 21 miles. And then after that I finished with another 3-mile run. And that was really tough. My back was hurting me that day. And this here is one of my biggest accomplishments. I climbed Whiteface Mountain in Lake Placid, New York. I went up there, I drove 400 and some miles, and I climbed all the way to the top, and when I got there I couldn't see anything because it was foggy all the way to the top. And as you can see, at the top of my running and biking, I was pretty slim, pretty fit. Running even when it was very cold, very, very cold. Sometimes I'd go out like here and it was, I think, 1 or 2 degrees outside. So you see, you know, I was pretty fit. This belly wasn't here. But now I have to start all over again. And I mean, I have to say it's been tough the last year or so, because before I was either living here or living with my parents, and I could go out running or biking and then go back home and take a shower. But the last year, just over a year, I've been working so much on the van that really I haven't had any time to run or bike, and so it's been pretty tough. But I want to get back into doing that, you know. It's healthy. After running or biking, I can just go to the gym and take a shower. That's not going to be a problem. But yeah, I really want to get back into running and biking. I think I'm going to start biking first, so I get my legs moving, and then running slowly. This time I'm not going to enter any competition. I don't think. The problem with me is that as soon as I start feeling good and not hurting and running pretty good and biking pretty good, then I might start thinking of competitions, but that's not going to be in the near future. I want to, if I start running again, because lately my knee hasn't hurt me. Well, it does once in a while, but maybe because of inactivity. But if I start running, I want to go slow. I don't want to go 100 miles one year and then 700 the next year, you know. I want to build it up little by little so I don't hurt myself. Biking, you know, that's a different story. But anyway, yeah, I want to clean this out so I have easier access to my bike. I don't know how I'm going to accomplish that. I got the Mr. Heater over there, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to try to do something. And it's done. I got my bike area all cleaned up. I can now come over here, undo this real quick, take my back wheel out. Now this moves, so once I take my back wheel out, I'll move this out of the way, then come over here, put the key, actually I don't have it locked. Just unlock this, pop the forks out, and remove the bike, and it's just as easy as that. So I'm very happy that I did this, because now I can go and ride my bike and start running again. If you guys want, I'll take you along for the ride. I don't know. It's going to be hard to, yeah, we'll see what happens.